welcome to my studio. Come on in. So, in case you haven't been to my studio before, this is where the magic happens. This is where I make work, display work, and also give my visitors a look behind the scenes of the creative process. So, whether it's been a minute since you've been here or you've never been in my space before, let me show you around at all the creative magic in my studio space. As an artist who really responds to the creative spaces in which I make my work, I have basically different zones in my studio space. The first one being the wall on the right-hand side when you first walk in, and this is all completed pieces. These are various size pieces, some are on panel, some are on canvas, some are sculptures that are on the walls, and all different bold colors, of course. But these are all completed pieces that are available for purchase or for collectors to showcase in their homes, their businesses, or in their community spaces. As you may also see, all of the titles of my work are questions. Now, these are questions that are pulled out of journal entries that are written around the time that the piece was made. So I love being able to extract questions out of their context. They become these hyper-personal moments that, when pulled out of context, become these universal questions that really encourage that relationship between the viewer and the piece that they're looking at. Because how I answer the question and the context that I bring to it is very different than how you will or how either of us will 5, 10, 20 years from now. So it really encourages those moments of reflection, introspection, and that continued relationship to stay calm in the moment and reflect on what's going on in your life. As visitors make their way through the space, you pass the original pieces, and this is where I have all of my art products. Now, these were all designed by me, made right here in North Carolina, but these are more reproducible products, meaning that they can be at a more affordable price point, whether you're looking to buy multiple pieces for a big group, or you're looking for a more budget-friendly option. So things such as color catchers that hang in your window that reflect that beautiful light that comes in and magnify it with color, whether you want stickers for your water bottle or your car that are waterproof, which we love, or one of the design or quote cards that you can use as a colorful bookmark installation when you are reading outdoors. All of these pieces and a bunch of others are an affordable option and often great for the holiday season, birthdays, or any special occasion if you're looking to give the gift of color to a loved one or friend. And the newest piece to the product collection is the J. Sanders Studio coloring book, available on my website and on Amazon. So each of these pages have an abstract geometric design that is pulled directly from one of my daily drawings and includes a thought-provoking question that you can think about as you're meditating with your drawing, or if you're drawing with a friend, it's something that you can discuss together to grow your relationship and get to know each other a bit better. Now, on the left side of my studio is more of the behind the scenes of the creative process. And of course, that starts with the materials that are needed to bring these pieces to life. Everything from acrylic paints to brushes, palette knives, and inspiration. This is where I really cultivate the behind the scenes energy that I thrive off of. I have always been an artist that always expands into the creative spaces, whether it's been in a studio at college, whether it was a home studio, my apartment, and now here at my public-facing studio at ArtSpace. I always love seeing everything out on display because I find that I can be more creative if I'm not spending hours and hours trying to figure out where everything is. So having it beautifully on display is the best method for me, and it also just looks good, which definitely helps. So, pulling inspiration and energy from the raw materials on display, moving down the wall, this is typically where I have my most recent pieces hung. These are either works in progress or completed pieces, as seen here, just for more display space, but really rich in that energy of being freshly brought to life. This is oftentimes too where you can see experiments in progress, such as this sculpture here, or sketches, as on my infamous sketch wall, that seems to just keep growing and growing and growing. Having a display wall of some of my favorite and most recent sketches has always been a part of my creative process ever since I was a kid. I would hang them up in my closet or hang them up in my college studio just to have that inspiration and that energy right out in front of me. And I do the same thing here at my studio at ArtSpace. This is part of the creative process that, as a fellow artist, I love seeing in other artists' studios. This is really where I get that energy from. And so having a public facing space, I knew I really wanted to put that on display for other people as well. And it's just naturally part of my process. So from sketches to color swatches to inspiration photos or motivational quotes that I just get energized by, this is kind of my battle station area, as I call it. And since I redid my studio to have this battle station, it has really, really helped with my creative energy and getting grounded in that focus time when I'm making work. So recently, arranging these 3 large tables as my battle station, as I call it, has been a big change that really has helped my creative process. But I think the most impactful thing, especially during these winter months where it gets darker earlier and earlier, has been what I call studio night mode. Now, I personally have always loved color lights, LED lights, and really responding to the energy of a physical space, including having that transition from a daytime experience to one in the evening. I wanted one where if I came into the studio, I was not having to worry about the overhead lights. I could really get grounded and more connected to the work that I was making, which has really proven to be true since I've created Studio Night Mode. I definitely plan on magnifying this throughout the new year in the months to come, but this has been a total game changer in my studio because you don't realize how impactful light is in your space until you switch it up. This is also a theme that I'm exploring in a handful of pieces and series in my body of work right now, exploring light and shadow and sculptural spatial elements. So I'm excited to see how even the LED lights being in my studio end up impacting the work that I make as my studio space continues to evolve. Thank you for coming along and exploring my studio with me. If you've been a visitor to my studio or watched my other studio updates here on YouTube, you may have seen that my studio space has changed a lot over the years, going from an apartment studio to a smaller studio here at ArtSpace. The evolution of this large space over the last few years, and as it will continue to grow, I am one that is always changing my space to reflect and react to the work that I'm making, and also making sure that it's still serving my needs. So whether you're an artist, a creative who has a studio, or simply an individual in their living space, I challenge you to ask yourself, is your space still serving you? And if not, what simple changes can you make today to do that? Maybe it's cleaning out storage bins that you don't even know what's in them. Maybe it's relaying out your physical space to have more floor space or more shelving. Something simple that really helps energize you and reconnect you to your space, because ultimately that is what's going to energize the rest of your day. But if you want to come to my studio, come on down to ArtSpace in Raleigh, North Carolina. You can hear all about my open hours as well as our monthly First Friday events on my newsletter, which you can sign up for at jacquelinesanders.com. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.